Sooner or later, everyone wonders about what happens after death. Is it possible to say that life continues in another form? The mysteries of the afterlife are shrouded in mystical experiences and numerous enigmas to which scientists and philosophers have yet to provide definitive answers. I will attempt to share some facts regarding the fate of the soul after leaving the physical body, drawing on scientific research, reflections, and the wisdom of spiritual mentors. In doing so, I will explain the key stages the soul goes through after death. And to you, my viewers and subscribers, I invite you to support the channel by liking, subscribing, and commenting. So, let's begin. The first stage is connected with the moment of transition. From the very moment the body ceases to live, an unusual and mysterious transformation begins. Many people who have experienced clinical death describe the sensations they experienced during their out-of-body experience. Their recollections range from a feeling of lightness and weightlessness to encounters with a blinding light. Some claim to see their lifeless body and the people around them, as if observing everything from a distance. Scientifically, such an experience can be explained by brain activity in the final moments of life. However, many researchers and spiritual teachers believe this is the true beginning of the soul's journey to another world. The next stage is existence beyond the physical world. After the soul leaves the body, it begins to explore a space filled with light and special energy. The soul experiences a noticeable sense of relief and freedom, becoming part of a vast flow of energies that connect it with other beings. This world can be imagined as a spectacular cosmos, where color and sound merge into a single, harmonious sound. However, before reaching eternal rest, the soul often goes through a special stage called inspection. The third stage is one of inspection and reassessment. The first stop for souls is the so-called inspection zone. Here, each person is transported to a space where they can see a brief overview of their life. This is not punishment, but rather a chance to understand their actions and their consequences. This zone resembles a large visual screen reflecting the entire life, from simple choices to complex ethical situations. In this space, the soul has the opportunity not only to recognize its mistakes, but also to understand how its actions have impacted others. The process of self-awareness, according to some studies, can be painful, but it is an important stage of spiritual development. The fourth stage involves meetings with ancestors and spiritual guides. After the examination, the soul meets with spiritual guides or departed relatives. These meetings are filled with love and support. The guides help understand how best to overcome the sins and shortcomings identified during the life analysis. The soul participates in a shared dialogue, during which the exchange of thoughts occurs not through words, but through energy. This is a unique experience that opens new horizons of understanding and inner harmony. When emotions and feelings are transmitted directly through auras, they reflect sincere intentions and genuine aspirations. In such a world, deception is impossible, and every word reaches the depths of the soul. The fifth stage is dedicated to correcting the mistakes of the past. During the process of redemption, souls are given the opportunity to ask questions, experience different situations, and recognize which laws of the universe have been violated. This is made possible by understanding time as a multi-layered space where the past, present, and future exist simultaneously. The soul moves between timelines, can revisit events from its life to take a fresh look at its actions, or even take on tasks, helping those left behind on Earth. The opportunity to become true guardians of the angelic lineage for loved ones imbues existence with profound meaning. The sixth stage involves supporting those living on Earth. The soul, having accepted and acknowledged its previous mistakes, begins to subtly interact with those around it, sending them signs, thoughts, or images connected to their loved ones. These moments become an important part of communication between worlds, serving as a guiding thread of love and support. Furthermore, the soul directs its energy to strengthening the emotional and spiritual well-being of its relatives, significantly uplifting their inner world. Some people sense the presence of departed loved ones at critical moments, whether during trials or joyful events. The seventh stage is called ascension. When the soul assimilates the lessons learned, it prepares for the next level, ascension. This process signifies a transition to a higher plane of existence and a profound understanding of the universe and the unity of all things. Ascension is the awakening of higher truths, when the soul returns to its primordial nature and merges with the flow of cosmic energy. At this stage, it becomes part of the universe, filled with light and inner joy. Ascension is not the end, but merely the beginning of a new path, opening access to new experiences and levels of understanding in other worlds. Reflecting on how souls live in the afterlife, we encounter the secrets and mysteries of the invisible world. But there, we are advised to pay more attention to our actions and awareness in the present. The mystery of life after death remains relevant, as each person develops their own theories, hopes, and fears, recognizing that the transition is only a temporary stage on the soul's endless journey. The soul's journey from life to another reality. Vladimir felt his consciousness slowly separate from his physical body. This transition seemed both frightening and wondrous. A feeling of lightness filled his entire being, as if the weight of the world had been instantly lifted. At that very moment, Vladimira, a bright being, a guide to another world, appeared before him. She smiled and spoke quietly. "We will walk through all the stages of this new path together." Vladimir felt support and understanding despite the unknown that lay ahead. Surrounded by soft light and warm tones, Vladimir's soul began its journey. Vladimira spoke of the many memories of people who have experienced clinical death and the difficulty science has in explaining out-of-body experiences. They discussed the hypotheses of neurophysiologists who claim that brain activity creates illusions, and the views of spiritual teachers who consider these sensations the beginning of a true journey of the soul. Arkady, a profound sage and spiritual mentor, met Vladimir in the space between worlds. He explained that the moment of leaving the body is only the first step on a great journey. Your spirit feels lightness and freedom because it is freed from earthly burdens, Arkady said. But true understanding comes with exploring the world beyond the physical. This world glows with all the colors of the universe, filled with energies that unite all living things into a single element. The sublime harmony of color and sound intertwined here in the infinite cosmos. Vladimir learned that every being that leaves the body becomes part of this energy network, feeling a sense of unity with other souls. However, before reaching eternal harmony, the soul passes through an inspection zone, a place where profound internal changes occur. Glikaria, the guardian of the examination area, greeted Vladimir with gentle severity. She showed him a huge visual screen reflecting every moment of his life. "This isn't a trial, but an opportunity to recognize and understand your actions," she explained. "Here you see how your decisions have impacted others. This is a chance for true spiritual growth." For Vladimir, this was a difficult but important test, to see himself from an outside perspective and accept responsibility for his actions. Inner conflict and the understanding of inevitable pain permeated this awareness, but it is through this process that the soul is purified and becomes ready for new encounters and lessons. The next stage is dialogue with mentors and ancestors, where love and support serve as a foundation for the further journey. Arkady and other spirits, including departed relatives, appeared beside Vladimir. Communication took place not through words but through energy. Vladimir felt sincerity and light penetrate his very heart. There was no deception here, only the depth and purity of true intentions. This experience opened new horizons of understanding, helping him find inner peace. Mitvi stood out among those gathered, a dark figure symbolizing Vladimir's inner fears. Arkady explained that overcoming such an antagonist is a necessary part of spiritual development. Mitvi reflected the doubts and burden of guilt that the soul must work through in order to move forward. This stage was called correcting the mistakes of the past, when the soul examines its actions in all their complexity. Ratimir, a guide between timelines, helped Vladimir see the past, present, and future as a single space. His soul gradually learned to return to physical experience, revisiting and reinterpreting life events. This process was not only emotionally difficult, but also opened the possibility of influencing the destinies of the living. Vladimir realized he could help his loved ones by becoming the guardian of their energy field. Zlata, the soul helper, supported those who felt the presence of the departed. She reminded Vladimir that their energy continued to influence the world of the living, filling their hearts with love and strength. Many people notice such signs at critical moments in their lives when support is especially needed. Vladimir's soul had already begun to subtly interact with the living, sending them images and inspiration. Ascension is the final stage of the soul's journey. This process signified a transition to a higher level of existence and the attainment of a full connection with the cosmos. Vladimir experienced the awakening of profound joy and a luminous understanding of his essence. For him, this was the beginning of a new life, opening the door to infinite realms of existence. The awakening of higher truths proved to be only the starting point. The soul began to explore worlds previously inaccessible with renewed vigor. Ascension became not the end, but the continuation of a wondrous, never-ending journey. Accepting these mystical revelations, Vladimir realized the soul's path is an endless journey, a journey of striving for light and love. Thus begins a story full of mysteries and discoveries, where questions about life after death become the key to a divinely understood reality. Now Vladimir is ready to begin the next stage, exploring the depths of his inner world in search of truth and peace. The next chapter will tell of the trials, encounters and revelations that await everyone who sets foot on the path to eternity. A look through the mirror of life and a meeting with the guardians of consciousness. Vladimir found himself in a space where light and shadow intertwined in a strange way, as if reality itself were blending time and feelings. The air was filled with a soft ringing, reminiscent of an ancient bell, awakening memories. Glyceria, calm and majestic, appeared before him, like a luminous silhouette veiled in a delicate mist. She became his soul's guide through the inspection area. Vladimir, feeling uneasy, knew. Now he would have to confront himself and all the actions that had left their mark on him. At that moment, a vast screen of life unfolded before him. Every moment, every action, flashed like frames from a film reel. Vladimir saw joys and achievements, but along with them came mistakes that brought pain to others. Suddenly, a familiar image played in the shadows. Meatway, the embodiment of fears and doubts, those inner barriers that for years had kept his soul from complete peace. His cold gaze reflected not only fears, but also a struggle, the outcome of which concerned Vladimir's fate. Vladimira, his soulmate, gently encouraged the hero, reminding him of the support and strength of love that he carried within himself. Vladimir felt his inner fears come alive, paralyzing his soul. Meatway didn't simply point out his mistakes and failures, he sought to immerse him in an endless whirlwind of doubts that hindered his growth. Arkady, his spiritual mentor, suddenly appeared, infusing Vladimir with confidence and clarity. His words of wisdom helped him overcome his fears and transform his perception of past events. With each passing minute, his awareness grew, allowing Vladimir not only to see his life but also to understand the reasons behind his choices, his motivations, and their impact on his loved ones. After this internal struggle, Vladimir's soul was ready for the next stage. Ratimir, a guide between timelines, appeared. The world around him transformed, revealing a space where past, present, and future intertwined in a complex pattern. Ratimir led Vladimir on a journey through these timelines, where he could relive important moments, understand lessons, and discover new opportunities to correct mistakes. It was here that the connection with those who continue to live on Earth was restored, and paths to assist them in the present were revealed. Meetings with departed mentors and ancestors became the culmination of his soul's journey. Vladimir felt their love and support penetrate his being, enveloping him in warmth and peace. Zlata, his soul helper, was present in these moments, helping establish a subtle connection between worlds. Through her, Vladimir could convey his regards to the living, and her light served as a bridge for communication. The energy of these encounters filled him with the strength he needed for further growth and transition to new levels of consciousness. Here he felt that he was not alone in this endless journey. Despite its difficulty, this examination and rethinking became a moment of profound purification for Vladimir. He realized that not all his actions could be changed, but each one held a potential lesson that could lead to inner upliftment. Glyceria observed the process with patience and wisdom, reminding him that mindfulness is the key to liberation from debt and fear. Vladimir began to feel the darkness and anxiety gradually give way to a quiet light that only opens to those willing to face themselves without fear. The soul's journey continues, and new discoveries and challenges lie ahead. With each step, Vladimir comes closer to understanding his true goals, strengthening his connection with his spiritual guides, and fulfilling his destiny. His path is a lesson not only about life and death, but also about eternal growth and the love that binds all beings. Shadows and fears are behind him, and light and endless possibilities lie ahead. This is only the beginning of the next stage, full of new horizons and profound insights. Ascension of the soul and connection with the world of the living. Vladimir and Ratimir's journey through timelines presented exciting possibilities. Every turn and every return to past events offered a chance to delve deeper into the heart of their mistakes and understand how they had obscured the light of the soul. Ratimir guided Vladimir with remarkable patience, helping him unravel the tangled web of decisions that had jeopardized their progress. Together, they navigated the winding paths of time, striving to rectify what seemed forever lost. Between these journeys, Vladimir's soul encountered Larissa, who gently guided him along the rays emanating from the past and revealed hidden connections to the present. Like an experienced guide to another world, she explained the importance of each stage, helping him gain a deep understanding of himself. Her voice sounded like a soothing melody, and every word filled his heart with new hope. Their conversations were the cornerstone of his realization that the path of correction is not punishment, but an opportunity to grow. Meanwhile, Zlata worked in a different direction, strengthening the threads of communication with those living on Earth. The precision and tenderness of her spiritual work revealed a vital mission. She sent subtle signs to those grieving loss, bringing them the energy of love and support, linking worlds with invisible currents. Often, people didn't even understand the source of their sudden strength and peace, but it was Zlata who was behind this invisible support in the most difficult moments. Her presence enveloped hearts with the warmth of a long-forgotten kinship and an eternal connection. Vladimir's inner fears, embodied in the figure of Mitvey, haunted him. He fiercely resisted the hero's attempts to rid himself of veiled doubts and negativity, as if the darkness itself sought to trap his soul in the grip of past mistakes. But with his mentor, Arkady, Vladimir learned to recognize Mitvey's illusions as obstacles, cutting them off with confident, conscious steps. For Vladimir, every victory over fear became a breakthrough to the higher realms. In the light of this carousel of trials, the soul underwent important encounters in the inspection zone, guided by the wise Glyceria. She told Vladimir that sins were not being judged here, but rather the curtains of memory being lifted, allowing the traces of one's actions to be clearly seen. Glyceria helped him perceive this visual criticism as an opportunity for forgiveness and healing, rather than as an overwhelming burden. Together they identified moments where choices could have been brighter, and sparked a spark of understanding. Moving from the examination to the dialogue with the mentors, Vladimir delved deeper into conversations with Arkady and Larissa. These meetings were filled with powerful energy, where words gave way to the vibrations of the heart. Communication at the aura level unfolded in a sensual symphony of light, where every emotion and thought was conveyed without distortion. They discussed how to heal the soul using the powers of love, acceptance, and forgiveness, bringing Vladimir closer to an understanding of universal laws. Step by step, the stage of redemption unfolded. With Ratimir's help, Vladimir returned to key moments in his life to examine the consequences of each action. In this multi-layered timescape, the past, present, and future wove together into a single picture, allowing him to rethink his path without regret. There, Mitvey's forbidden fears crumbled, giving way to light, opening up new opportunities for correction and helping those remaining on Earth. Zlata continued to send signs of love and support, making her contribution to the world of the living. She became not only a reliable guide, but also an invisible protector for Vladimir's loved ones, filling their lives with light and inspiration. Her work proved that a connection between worlds exists, and this connection can strengthen the souls of both parties. Thanks to her efforts, love continued to live despite physical separation, a reminder that distance has no power over the heart. Finally, preparation for ascension became the culmination of the entire journey. Vladimir felt how the lessons he had experienced with his mentors and companions awakened within him a profound awareness of his oneness with the universe. He understood that this stage was a transition to a new level of existence when the soul merges with cosmic light and experiences freedom from limitations. Ascension is not a rush of loneliness, but an entry into a community where love and energy become eternal companions. This moment was only the beginning of a new chapter in a never-ending journey. Vladimir, inspired by the support of his friends and his knowledge, was ready to discover new horizons and delve into the depths of the universe, uncovering secrets hidden beyond the understanding of the living. The next stage would reveal even more captivating perspectives, leaving room for new encounters and discoveries.